Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about how to change squeegee rubbers in clip channels or clipless channels. So there's only some channels that use clips. Most use clips like these to hold the rubber in. And then there's also Sorbo channels with their own clips that hold the rubber in. But these brass clips are used by Pulex channels, Stakone channels, Ettore channels. So you'll see these quite a bit. So let's go over that first. So this is an Ettore master brass channel. So it uses those end clips right here to hold the rubber in. You're always going to have two of them in every channel except for 6-inch and 8-inch channels. When you purchase those from Ettore, they'll come with one clip as far as that goes. So to change out the rubber in one of these channels, let me put this rubber back in. So whenever you purchase a new squeegee channel, it's always going to come with a squeegee rubber. And what you're going to notice right away is that you have about 1/8 of an inch of rubber off the end of the channel to protect the frames. So you always want to keep that there when you're changing out the squeegee rubber. Also, every squeegee rubber has two sides. So when you're done with this side, you flip it and go to this side. So let's say we're doing that. It would be the same process if you were changing out the squeegee rubber for a new one too. What I like to do first is pull on this corner to get that clip out of there. I take that clip off. One thing you don't want to do is squeeze these so that this bottom rounded part gets like pointed at all. But if you do, you can just buy new clips to use with these channels. So then pull out the squeegee rubber from the other side by just tugging on the rubber. Then if it was that you were just swapping sides, I would keep the clip on here so that when you reinsert it on this side, you don't have to remeasure at all the little bit of rubber that comes over the end. So you just leave it there, put it back in. But in the case that this was a brand new squeegee rubber and both clips were off, like so. So I like to take the squeegee rubber, put it all the way in the channel before I put any clips on it, and just make sure that my two sides are even as far as 1/8 of an inch. And this goes for really all squeegee channels, so you're just protecting the frames of your customers' windows. Then take the clip, just leave about 1/8 of an inch. I know I keep repeating that, but I do find it important. And just go ahead and push it into the channel. Now here is the one that most will mess up as far as when they put this on, they'll get either a waviness through the channel or the rubber on this side will be a little bit more risen. Here's what I do that I find the best way to do it. You pull out the rubber here and then you put your thumb here to allow this bit of rubber to relax. You line it up the same way, get about 1/8 of an inch. You relax, it'll go pretty much into the channel like that, and then you'll just push it in. Now, some channels like stainless or the aluminum can be a little bit tighter in those areas, but that's the best process as far as when replacing squeegee rubber or when swapping the sides of the rubber to install it inside the squeegee channel with those brass clips. The next channel that uses clips to hold the squeegee rubber in is a Sorbo channel. This goes for the Quicksilver, Black Mamba, Cobra. There's quite a few different Sorbo channels. So they use these styles of clips right here. Okay, so this is a pair of them. When you get a Sorbo channel, it's already going to be installed. There's always two of them as far as being on a Quicksilver channel. So same thing with this as far as when you're swapping the rubber out, is that you're going to pull to get that clip to come out. And then on this side, it's not like the brass ones where when you slide this other side out that this is going to stay on the rubber. So you're always going to do the same process with these clips, whether or not you're replacing the rubber or just swapping sides. So remove that. One thing to note about Sorbo channels, just these are a different shaped rubber as far as it's more of a T shape, where Ettore rubber has more of that round shape at the end. So Sorbo rubber only fits Sorbo channels. You can use Sorbo rubber in other channels. You just got to make sure it's tight enough with the clips. So when you're putting a fresh rubber in, you just want to make sure that you use the bottom slot there. Technically, cool thing about Sorbo channels is this little 3x4 here Sorbo 3x4 actually means that you can get a rubber cutter that it can allow you to cut Sorbo rubber down 12 times, and you can just move it up through those grooves in the actual channel to get the most use out of a squeegee rubber. Once again, when I put the rubber in the channel, I put it all the way through, and I make sure that I have about an even amount of rubber on each end sticking out. Now, here's my little tip with these. They're a little bit harder to get in. Also, to take them out, if you're ever having trouble at the end of it, sometimes they get a little jammed up with gunk. A putty knife or a flathead to kind of get in there and pry it out can really help too when you're taking the clip out if they get stuck. So what I do with these channels, because sometimes this can be hard to get in here, I take a little bit of soap and I just put it right there on the rubber before the channel. So this clip is going to go right into those two slots, if you can see that in the video. And then that soap really allows you just to push that clip in, and that's how it looks once the clip is installed with the rubber. And then just repeat the same thing for the opposite side. So right there in those two slots, push that in, just like that. So that's it as far as how to change the squeegee rubber on the Sorbo channel. Now, clipless channels are super easy to change the squeegee rubber on. So this is an Unger Ergotech squeegee. Very, very simple. The way that the handle just grabs the squeegee rubber here in the middle with these two little sharp parts right here, that's how it holds the squeegee rubber in. It doesn't have any sort of clips on the end that hold that. So simply, when you're changing out the squeegee rubber, you release the handle from the channel and you just slide it back into the channel. You make sure that your sides are good as far as how much rubber is left over, so you're protecting the frames. And then you can either put the handle from the side or you can put it over the middle. Sometimes it's a little bit easier though. Put it here on the side. The nice thing is on these Unger channels, there's usually a marking like right here that will show you where the middle is. So that's as easy as it is to change the rubber on a clipless channel. The Unger Ninja is a little bit different because it uses these in plugs, and I wouldn't really even, this is like clipped but clipless at the same time. So you unlock those plugs there, you see that little yellow color there, and then you just slide the rubber in and out, and then you would change the squeegee rubber the same way. But the nice thing about this one, it's very user-friendly to change the rubber on, but your handle is not grabbing any part of the rubber at all. So that's basically it as far as how to change the rubber on a clipped or a clipless channel. There are a lot of different squeegee channels out there, but this is the typical way that they are held into the channels. So if you have any questions about squeegee channels I didn't talk about in this video, go ahead and comment below. But that's it as far as how to change the squeegee rubber on different styles of channels.